Hi there, my name is Anna and I will be showing you how to use NapoleonCat. So let's dive in. Once you register for an account and complete your initial onboarding, you will be able to see some of the profiles that you've added during that process. However, keep in mind that you can also add additional profiles, whether watched or managed, later on. This can be done in your project settings. So if you're done adding your profiles, you can skip this step. However, if you would like to add any additional profiles, you can just hop into your project settings. And then you will see a list of all of the profiles that you've already added. However, if you would like to add more, feel free to do so. You can either choose your network. Let's say we would like to add an additional Facebook profile, and then choose whether you would like to add a managed profile or a followed profile. These are slightly different in that if you add a managed profile, you obviously have to have admin rights to that profile. You will be asked to log into Facebook and then choose the profile that you would like to add to NapoleonCat. If you would like to add a followed profile, regardless of the social media platform, you just have to add the link to that profile and then add that to your account. Once you do that and you're ready to work with NapoleonCat, please keep in mind that it takes around 24 hours for all of the data to sync, which means if, for example, you would like to see your analytics, you will be able to see on the left side here a list of your profiles. However, some of them might not be populated just yet. But don't worry, it'll take a while, but the data will be there. When you're setting up your account, it's important to remember about inviting users to NapoleonCat. If you would like to add teammates, all you have to do is go into your account settings in the upper right corner and click on Team. This is the Team Settings tab. So from here, you can see a list of all of your existing users with their permission level. Here, of course, you can edit their settings and you can invite new users. So let's invite a new user. Start by adding your teammate's email address. And then select a team for that user. If you don't have any team set up, that's not a problem, just skip this point. Then define their permissions. There are 3 levels to choose from: user, admin, and client. Admins have access to all areas of NapoleonCat, and that includes the billing section and all projects across the platform. Clients only have view access. However, if you choose user, you can choose the permission level for each user in a custom way. So you can choose what kind of access that person has to the publisher, view, edit, or no access at all to the inbox and the analytics section. You can also choose whether that person can create new projects or not by clicking on this tab. Here you can choose the projects that that teammate will have access to. You can also add a message here, or you can leave this blank. And then once you click on invite, that person will receive an email with an invitation and they can create their own account in NapoleonCat. This is the analytics section in NapoleonCat. On the left-hand side, you can see a list of all of the profiles that you've added to your account. On the top here, these are all managed profiles. When you scroll down, you can see watched profiles. They have a little eye icon right next to them. When you click on a specific profile, you will see a breakdown of all of your stats and several tabs that pertain to specific metrics. Since this is a Facebook profile, you will be able to see tabs for reach, impressions, engagement. There's also a content tab that goes over your own activity. And once you scroll all the way down, you will be able to see a breakdown of your most engaging content. And that will include stats like reactions, shares, the lifetime of the post, the engagement rate, and various types of reach. You can also check your stats for videos and things like video views, and your top 20 most active users with a breakdown of their activity. One important thing to remember about NapoleonCat Analytics is that each graph can be downloaded as a PNG file, and most of the metrics can be downloaded into a spreadsheet. So if you would like to do any further analysis with the stats, it's entirely possible. You don't have to stick to the analytics section within the application itself. What you can also do is create a social footprint. Social footprints allow you to see how you're doing across various social media platforms. So this is a breakdown for NapoleonCat. You can see the share of various social media platforms in our activity and our followers. Plus, you can compare the engagement rate for various platforms. And you can see a split by day, so you can see how you're doing across various social media platforms. You can also create social footprints for your competition if you would like to see how they're doing. Finally, you can create data sets. Data sets allow you to compare stats for various social media profiles. All you have to do is add those social media profiles to a data set, and you'll be able to compare all of the stats that are available in our analytics section against each other. As you can see, you will also have access to tabs that pertain to specific metrics. So of course there's a summary section, reach, engagement, content, and influencers. Let's say that you would like to answer some questions and comments on your social media profiles. In that case, you should probably head over to the inbox. And this is our inbox where you have several tabs. The new tab houses all of the incoming communication for the managed profiles that you have. A list of all of your managed profiles will be available here on the right side. You don't have to moderate or answer or like, for example, the content for all of your profiles. You can do that by sorting your content. You can either choose entire profiles by clicking here on the right side, or you can choose a specific type of content. For example, you would like to work on fan comments only. In that case, unclick this, and then remember to click on Apply Filters. And there we go. You will be able to see only comments. You can choose different time frames here as well. You can choose the last 30 days, last 7 days, this week, yesterday, or today. This is useful if you have a lot of incoming content, so you're getting a lot of comments, you're getting a lot of messages. In that case, you can work day by day, or you can choose a wider time frame. Then once you're done choosing your time frame, just click on Apply, and there we go. So the basic part of your inbox is a ticket. So this here is a ticket. Every piece of content that comes into your inbox, that will create a ticket. So things like comments, like messages, all of the types of content that are mentioned here, this creates a ticket. On the right side, you can see which profile that ticket applies to, the date, and the timestamp. You can click on the link to see that directly on Facebook as well. You will be able to see who exactly created that comment or wrote that message. And you can see what kind of content that ticket relates to. So you can see that this was a comment to a post on Facebook. This is the content itself. This is the message ID, which is very important in case there's any sort of communication with us and you would like to ask any questions about that comment, this is the ID that you would use. Here we have basic things that you can do directly from this view. So, for example, since this is a comment, you can archive if you don't want to deal with that. This isn't important to you at all. You would just like to move that from the New tab to the Archive tab. You can do so by clicking on Archive. You can like a comment as well. You can reply to it. You can hide a comment, which hides it directly on Facebook. You can delete a comment, which deletes the comment on Facebook. And here you can access some different options like flagging the comment, which would basically move it to the flagged folder. You can add a note or send it to consult. I'll show you how to do that a bit later on once we go into the more detailed view of the ticket. From here, you can also translate your tickets. So here we have questions in English, so we understand these. But here, for example, we have a question in a different language. So if you would like to understand what that question is, just click on Detect Language and then translate that into English. Unless, of course, you know what language that is, you can choose from the drop down. And then click on Translate. And there we go. You can see that the comment was translated from Polish to English, and it says, "Hey, please contact me." You can also mark the sentiment for each and every message that you receive. You can choose between positive, negative, and neutral. This will be helpful for analyzing your efforts in moderating your content later on. So here, I would probably say that this was neutral, so let's say that this is neutral. You can also tag messages. Once you click on Tag Message, you will receive a list of all of the tags that you've created. Your tags can be created in your project settings. So if you go into your project settings, and then you click on Labels, you can see that there is a category called Inbox Labels. All you have to do is choose a color. So let's say we would like to create a blue label. And let's say we would like to add a label that is called Spammer. So you would just enter the name, click on Add, and there we go. The label has been created. And then when we go back to the inbox, and we go back to the message that we were working on, click on Tag Message, and then choose Spammer. You can analyze what kind of tags you've added to your inbox messages by generating an inbox activity report later on. Okay, so let's get into a ticket. If you click on the white space here, that will open your ticket into the detailed view. As you can see, you'll have more information here. If you scroll through, you can see the entire post and comment history. So on the top here, you will have the original post. So this is the icon, which relates to the profile that the post was written on. This is the post itself. So we have a picture and then an example sentence that says this is a post. And then when you scroll through, you'll be able to see the entire comment history. This is useful if you have a comment that doesn't necessarily relate to anything on its own. It's related to either the post or any comments that were written earlier. You can check that as well. If you would like to see the entire history, you can also click on Load All Messages. If, for example, the message tree is just huge, you don't necessarily want to scroll through, let's say, 100 comments. That will be hidden. So if you click on Show All, all messages, in that case, that will show everything. So getting back to our original ticket that we're working on right now, you can write a comment. As you can see, you can choose the reply option. You can add an answer here by entering any sort of content that you would like. You can add an image. You can add a saved reply, and you can paste an emoji. If you click here, you will receive a list of emojis, and you can add those emojis later on. By clicking on Paste Reply Template, you will see a list of all of the saved replies that you've added to the tool. When you do this for the first time, obviously the list will be empty, but you can click on Edit Replies. Once you click on Edit Replies, you will be able to add several replies within your project settings. Or you can do that earlier if you would like to set those up. You would go to your project settings as well, and you can edit the saved replies from there. Let's say we would like to choose this one. So once you click on there, you will see the saved reply, but you can also edit that. So you don't necessarily have to use the original saved reply. You can also add some text later, or you can add some templates where you can add, for example, somebody's name or a specific product that the question relates to, that kind of thing. You can also translate your answer. So let's say you would like to translate the answer from English to Arabic, let's say. Choose the language from the list and then click on Translate. So if you translate that content that you wrote yourself and you translate this, you'll be able to reply with this translated message. So keep in mind that if you click on Comment or Comment and Archive Now, this is the reply that will be visible on Facebook or to the person that wrote the original comment. You can leave an internal note. Internal notes are very useful if you're working with a team and you would like to leave a comment for somebody else later on. So you would write your note here and then click on Add Note. And this will appear only in NapoleonCat. So this is an action that is not visible on Facebook. This is visible only to anyone who has access to NapoleonCat. Okay, and you can also send to consult. This basically means that if, for example, somebody asks a very difficult question, you don't know the answer yourself, you would like to consult somebody who has very detailed knowledge, you can do that. You would just have to enter their email here and then enter your question here. If you click on Send to Consult, that person will receive an email that will contain both your question and the content that is in the comment that you're asking about. And once that person has an answer ready, they can just reply to that email, and once they reply to that email, you will be able to see their answer here. And that's pretty much it. So once you're done working with your comment, you would like to, let's say, publish this answer, click on Comment or Comment and Archive. We generally recommend clicking on Comment and Archive if you're done with a specific comment. This means that that comment will be moved to the archive. It means that any sort of moderation efforts with that specific comment are done, and that can be counted as done. Or you can just exit the comment here without doing anything if you're not sure what you would like to do. As you can see here, while I was working on that comment and I translated that comment, I marked sentiment, the comment has been automatically assigned to me. You don't necessarily have to assign all of your comments to yourself though. You can choose a different moderator, so somebody who's using Napoleon Cat with you. If you click on Assign User, you will be able to see a list of all of your Napoleon Cat users. So let's say that somebody has a question, you don't know the answer. You don't want to deal with that, you want to assign that to a colleague. So you would choose a different person. And the user that has been assigned to a comment, they will receive that in their My Tasks folder. So if you click on My Tasks, you will be able to see all of the comments that either you were working on yourself or that have been assigned to you. Going back to our New tab, you can also refresh all of your messages if you know that there are new comments coming in. Just click on Refresh. You can also click on Archive All New Messages if you have, let's say, some messages that you know you don't want to answer, you don't want to work on them. You can just archive them. But this is not an option that you would like to use very often, and it's best to be careful with it. In the inbox, we also have separate tabs for hidden, archived, and deleted tickets. So in the archive, this is where you would look for all of the tickets that you're done moderating. In the hidden and deleted tabs, these are for all of the comments that you have hidden on Facebook or deleted on Facebook. So every time you hide or delete a comment, then they will appear in the appropriate tabs. So I think you're ready to moderate manually in the inbox, but we also have something called Automoderation. So when you click on Automoderation, you will see a list of all of your moderation rules. But you're probably wondering what Automoderation is. So Automoderation allows you to set up rules for dealing with your content in an automated way. This means that you can set up rules that will moderate your comments and messages for you based on several triggers and rules that you can set up. So I'll take you through setting up an Automoderation rule so you can see how that works. You can click on Add New Rule and you will be taken to your rule settings. So first, start out by entering a name. So as an example, we can set up a rule that will hide spammy comments on Facebook. So let's call the rule Hide Spam. So once you go into your list of rules, you will be able to see exactly what that rule does. And then you can choose the specific profile that the rule will apply to. If you click here, you will receive a list of all of your managed profiles. You can set up rules for Facebook and Instagram. So let's say that we would like to set up a rule for our Facebook page. So let's choose our Facebook profile and then choose a trigger. For Facebook, we have quite a few triggers. These can range from post to page, organic comments, private messages, add comments. These are the most popular ones. But you can also trigger rules for reviews, comments for a specific post. Let's say, since this is a spam rule, we would like to apply this to all organic comments. Then you can choose a condition. So you can apply this to all comments, but you can also apply this to text-only comments or comments with links or videos. This is very useful if you have a lot of fans that spam you with links to, let's say, the competition, or somebody spamming you with GIFs, and you don't necessarily want your other users to see lots of GIFs or videos or anything like that. So in that case, go ahead and choose these, but since this is a spam rule, we would like this to work on all comments. And then choose your keywords. So obviously, you would enter keywords or key phrases. So you can enter a name, press enter, and that will create a keyword. But you can also add entire phrases. So you would enter your phrase, and then again, click on enter. Then once you're done adding all of your keywords, you can define the action. So the action is what actually happens to the comments that you're trying to moderate. You can do nothing. If, for example, you would just like to reply to those comments, you can hide those comments. You can send them directly to the archive if you don't necessarily want to deal with them. You can delete those comments, and you can flag those comments. Flagging those comments will send the tickets to the flagged folder, which is in the inbox. So in this case, let's say I would like to hide all of the comments that contain these keywords. You can choose to publish. You can choose to publish a reply as a comment or in a private message. You can create lists of random replies. So if, for example, you would like to reply to comments as a comment, so that means these answers will be basically visible publicly on Facebook, you can create many replies. This means that every time somebody writes a comment that triggers the rule, they will receive a different reply. You can do the same thing for private messages. However, in this case, I don't necessarily want to answer those people. I just want to hide those comments. So I will choose do not publish. You can choose to set up your rule to work on specific days or in specific time frames. So if you click here, you will be able to choose times, entire days, or just specific hours on specific days. That is entirely up to you. This is useful if you're setting up, let's say, a saved reply when you're not working during the night. But in this case, we would really like to have that rule working all the time. Since these are spam comments, we don't want people to see them, so we would leave this empty. If you would like to be notified every single time a rule is triggered, you can enter your email here and you will receive an email every time somebody writes a comment that contains these keywords. You can also customize the content that is in that email. So if you would like to mention the exact name of the rule, you can do that here. Otherwise, just leave this the way it is. Of course, if you don't want to set up the notification because you know that the rule will be triggered over and over again, just leave this empty. And there we go. We're done setting up a rule, and in this case, we click on Save Rule, and there we go. You can set up as many auto moderation rules as you would like. They will be working in the background and they will be moderating your fan pages for you, allowing you to focus on things that aren't repetitive. The most common use cases for setting up auto moderation rules are spam comments or repetitive questions. So let's say you're running a business, you have a lot of users asking you and customers asking you about your address. You can set up an auto reply with that address, which will basically allow you to focus on things that aren't repetitive, that require your attention and it will save you a lot of time to work on other things. Okay, so that is pretty much it when it comes to the inbox. Let's move on to a different module now. Let's go to the publisher. When you click on the publisher icon, you will be taken to your publication calendar, and you will be able to see what posts you've scheduled and have already been published, or you can see the posts that you have planned for the future. At first glance, when you look at your publication schedule, you can see that the dark parts of the calendar, these are the past, and the future is a bit lighter. If you click on this little icon here that appears if you hover over any scheduled posts here, you will be able to see a list of the posts. You will be able to see what profiles they were scheduled to, the users that were assigned to that post, and the status. So in this case, you can see that the status is published. You can also open the post if you would like to see the post itself, how it looks in our publisher. Okay. If you go to the Posts tab, you will see pretty much the same thing, just as a list, split by upcoming, past, and unscheduled. So unscheduled posts, these are basically drafts. So you can see that the status is draft. And obviously the publication date is not visible. You can open the post from here, and if you would like to edit that post and then eventually schedule it, of course you can do that as well. And My Tasks. So My Tasks is the tab where you will be able to see all of the tasks that were assigned to you. These are split by upcoming, past, and unscheduled. And again, you will be able to see a list of all of the tasks that were assigned to you with the profiles, the post itself, and publication date mentioned. And you can of course see the status. In this case, the post was published. But let's say that you would like to schedule a post. Let's say that we would like to schedule a post for Saturday. We click here, and then we add the profiles that we would like to schedule our posts to. Let's say that we would like to publish this post on Facebook, but we would like to publish that same post on Instagram as well. We can do that, of course, and some of the features are shared, but some of them are separate. So one of the shared features is that you can write your content here. You can see the post preview here on the right side. So once you start entering your content, it will populate here in the post preview on the upper right side of your screen. You can also add an image, add a video, or add a link. For Facebook specifically, you can post to a specific audience. So choose things like the minimum age of the audience, or the country, region, or city. But you can also publish this as a hidden post if you don't want to have that post visible in your public timeline. You can schedule your post. Since I clicked on Saturday, the date that you can see here is Saturday. But if you would like to change that, of course, you can choose a different date. And then you can choose the time that you would like to have this post published. If you would like to add the same content that you've written to your original post, just click on Sync Text field. Once you do that, and you click on Instagram, you will be able to see that the content is already there. However, the things that you can add to an Instagram post are slightly different. Obviously, this is a different platform. So one of the things that you can do slightly differently is you can add a location. If you enter the first few letters of a city or a specific place, you will see that in the drop down. Let's say that this is in New York City. What you can also do only for Instagram is you can add your first comment. You can use this for just adding additional text, or you can add your hashtags here, whatever you would like. And of course you can add an emoji there as well. As you can see, your post preview changed slightly. You can see that here, this is your post content, and then this is your first comment. If you would like to assign this post to a different person, you don't want to finish yet, you would like somebody else to see it or make sure that it's okay, just click on Assign First User. And then click on Assign Post. You can leave this empty if you would like to schedule your post immediately, but you can also click on Save Draft if you would like to have that saved as a draft. If you're not finished working on it, you can go back to that later. You can add or remove subscribers. So every time an action is taken for a post, so for example, somebody approves of the post, or somebody asks to add something to the post or leaves any comments, that person will receive a notification. So again, if you click on Select Users, you will see a drop down, and then you can choose the users that are going to be notified. In order to see the discussion or leave any comments, the first thing that you would have to do is save your draft, and then you can start discussing or adding comments. And there we go. So that is our publisher. Let's move on to our reports. There are several types of reports that you can generate in NapoleonCat. If you go to your reports section, you will have a menu of your reports here on the left side. So the first thing that you will see is the reports archive. These are all of the reports that you've generated in the past. However, if you haven't generated any reports before, of course this section will be empty. The nice thing about this is, if you would like to schedule a different report, or if you would like to generate something that is very similar to a report that you've already generated in the past, you can do that from here. You can do that by editing and then changing the time frame, for example. But what you can also do is create a similar report. You can schedule a report, which means that you will be able to have a report like this sent to your email on a regular basis, or you can just download a report if you've accidentally deleted that report, or if you generated it quite a long time ago, you can just download that report from here. If you would like to create a new report, just click here on Create New Report, and you start out by choosing your time range. So again, you can choose between the last 7 days, last 30 days, this month, last month, or you can choose a completely custom range. So again, just choose the dates that you're interested in, and that's it. You can choose your language. For now, we only have 2 languages. So let's say we would like to choose English. You can choose to remove the Napoleon Cat branding and add your own logo to the report, but in this case, let's say that we would like to keep the Napoleon Cat branding. And then you can select the profiles that you would like to add to the report. Reporting is available for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also generate competitive reports for Facebook, which means that you can add several Facebook profiles to a report and you can see the differences between the two. This is very useful if you would like to compare yourself to your competition, or you would like to add 2 of your competitors and kind of, see how they're doing. Let's say that we would like to generate a report for a managed profile. Once you click on Add, the selected profile will appear here. And then you can choose the positions to report. This is the entire list of metrics that are available for managed profiles, but you don't have to choose all of them. You can choose only one or several, whichever ones that you're interested in. Of course, that is up to you entirely. And then once you're done setting this up, you just click on Generate. Once you click on Generate, the report will be sent to your email, and you will be able to download it from the archive, which is what I showed you a bit earlier. You can also schedule a report. So the rules are pretty much the same. The only difference is that you can enter your email address, and the report will be sent to that email. And then you can choose how often you would like to receive that report. You can choose to receive a report weekly, monthly, or every quarter. The rest of the settings are exactly the same. You can also choose to export your data from NapoleonCat. You can do this by creating a new export. And again, you can choose the time frame, the language, the profiles, and then you can just click on Generate once you're done. And one last thing in the report section is the inbox activity report section. The inbox activity reports, they don't pertain to metrics for a profile. They basically show you how your moderation efforts are going. So the stats that you will be seeing in these reports refer to your moderators or for moderation stats for specific profiles. So to create a new report, again, you can choose a time frame, the language, the work hours. This is very important in case you have slightly different rules for moderators working within working hours or after a specific time or during the night. So just choose the working hours that apply to you. And then select the profiles that you would like to add to the report. You can choose between almost all of the social media platforms that we support. So let's say that we would like to generate a report for one profile only. And then you can choose the positions to report. You can choose the profiles report, which contains parameters for individual profiles. The moderators report, which basically shows you how your moderators are working. You can evaluate their work using this report. Or you can export inbox posts. Or you can export inbox tag statistics. This basically shows you how tags are used in the inbox. This is what I showed you a bit earlier when we were talking about our inbox. This shows you which tags are used when your moderators are working, and you can analyze what kind of questions you're getting, for example. So going back to our report, once you're done choosing which positions you would like to report, just click on Generate. And again, the report will be sent to your email, and then it will be available in the reports archive. Okay, so these are the basics of NapoleonCat. I hope that this video has been useful. If you have any questions about our features, or if you get stuck in the app at any point, you can also use the in-app chat to contact us. Just click here in the lower right-hand side of the screen and click on Send Us a Message, and we will reply as quickly as we possibly can. Okay, thanks and bye-bye.
If you wish to conquer social media, just hit the link down below and sign up for our free 2-week trial. And if you have any questions, just contact us through our website and we'll be more than happy to help you guys. Until next time, bye bye.